Let's start with the current situation of timber in Bali Island. Where does timber come from? 44% from import and 54% from the forest. However, driven by the demand, deforestation is a huge problem. Then timber is manufactured and used in these places. Timber is one of the main structural materials of local buildings in both rural and urban areas. Road systems connects producer, processor, and consumer of timber together. Import dependence and deforestation are the main challenging issues to prevent Bali from 100% self-sufficiency. In order to improve the timber yield to meet the huge demand in a sustainable way, timber hub might be a good scenario. As for timber production hub, production forest, plantation, and farmland can be the target places. Those areas which is suitable for both planting trees and crops will be preferred to develop agroforestry program. It's a combination of forestry and agriculture which expand timber production from forest to field. From spatial hierarchy of agroforestry system, there are 4 layers divided by different characteristics of plants. Timber always comes from the 4th layer. Then how to grow? A 7-year rotation cycle is suggested. Year 1, trees and rice. Year 2, rice. Year 3 and 4, crops and some other crops. Year 5 to 6 and year 7. And this rotation cycle will be operated like this. As for timber processing site, majority of factories are located near harbor. It is necessary to relocate them near the field. But how? First, transform the production site into hub, then take several issues into account, like waterway, clean energy, and road system. In this way, the approximate scope of the new factory can be determined, and after that, the complete timber hub will take shape. If the timber hub system operates well, by 2045, Bali will reach the goal of 100% self-sufficiency. And here is the material flow and carbon circulation.
Bamboo is one of the world's most sustainable building materials. Bamboo has a relatively short and fast growth cycle, and bamboo can be harvested again and again after it has been planted. There are 3 key words in my personal strategy, including sustainable bamboo forestry, green building, and diverse applications. However, Bali now faces 2 problems. The first is there are only limited number of bamboo forests left. Secondly, rapid urbanization has reduced the area where bamboo can be grown. This is the site of a large existing bamboo forest plantation. They serve the purpose of soil water conservation. And this is the current trend of urban sprawl in Bali. In individual strategies, the main focus is on the setting of bamboo plantings and the different applications of bamboo. Of all, we need to pick out the suitable climate area for growing bamboo. Then, areas of suitable altitude for bamboo planting are selected. Combining the 2 areas above will result in an area with suitable altitude and climate for growing bamboo. These are the remaining plantation areas and the forested and urban areas. Finally, combining the areas of concentrated water flow and all above conditions, we get the three most suitable areas for growing bamboo. The last section deals with the application of bamboo, which are mainly divided into construction and others. This section will be the beginning of the individual presentations and will include the detailed case explanations.
The technology of soil is various and functional. Among them, rammed earth is a sustainable natural resource. Bali attracts tourists from a world with its unique natural beauty. However, the urbanism and the development of tourists promote Bali to use plenty of cement and concrete. Using rammed earth can reduce Bali's carbon emissions while retaining their local character. Is rammed earth environmental friendly? During calculation, Bali could save about 50,000 tons of greenhouse gas emission a year. How does it work? Cement is made from stone, which is mined in quarries and then processed in the factories. After processing, bags of cement are transported by different ways. At the construction site, the cement will be reprocessed and used as concrete or binder for construction. Solid buildings end up as construction waste and are difficult to recycle. The emissions are mainly from electricity, transportation, secondary processing of cement, and mixing of binder. The soil is locally sourced either from the foundation or from the surrounding land. The soil can be put directly into rammed earth construction, or it can be used as bricks and tiles in small temporary workshops. Rammed earth can be recycled from construction after being abandoned. Most of the emissions comes from the construction process, and the electricity emissions from transport are low. Based on above analyzed objectives and strategies are confirmed. After the strategy is implemented, the use of rammed earth will optimize the carbon cycle of building materials. In terms of materials consumption, Bali can be divided into three types of areas. Urban area and agricultural area already have large amounts of consumption. Many remote villages will become potential areas of large consumption of building materials. From the production ends of materials, the types of stones and soil are rich and the distribution is complex. Through the research, there are several raw materials that can be used for rammed earth. In general, the available rammed earth materials are distributed along the coast and around the volcanoes. Based on the consumption and production ends of rammed earth, and the dense road network of Bali itself, a rammed earth system roadmap was formed, including consumption lanes, supply lanes, and sub-supply lanes.
Challenge of plastic in Bali. If you search Bali plastic in Google, you will see these horrible images. Bali has 372 rivers and more than 90% of Bali's residents living within 1 kilometer of a river. Why the continuous accumulation of plastic in Bali? Mismanaged plastic waste is that which ends up in the environment. Much of them ends up in the water sources and ultimately in the ocean. Emissions from plastics discarded into the environment are hard to measure, but evidence suggests they are higher than previous thought. Balinese attempt to tackle plastic waste. Many environmentally conscious people have taken actions to clean up the island's plastic waste. However, it's still not enough. Carbon emissions are generated at all stages of plastic life cycle. According to a calculation, about 135,004 tons carbon emissions was emitted by incinerated plastic in Bali in 2018. And most of the plastic in Bali is still produced, consumed, and discarded in a linear process. Due to the globalization, many companies bring their plastic packaging goods to the communities that they are not prepared to deal with the subsequent waste of plastic, while they used to use natural packaging materials. In addition, many countries export their own plastic waste to this location. Also, plastic imports and exports have decreased in the last 2 years due to the COVID-19.
No one knows if the quantities will increase again after the end of the COVID. Where did this waste go? Bali's official disposal method for plastics is mainly landfill. In the long run, will cause great ecological damage, and plastic degradation takes hundreds of years. Here's the vision for 2045. The main goal is to recycle and reuse, above all, reduce. The first point is to reduce single-use plastics, and the second one is to improve local recycling, to transfer a linear process to a circular process. Here comes the first strategy. Decentralize the plastic waste collection infrastructure. To place a floating movable collection device for serious polluted river or ocean area, driven by artificial intelligence. Additionally, AI is also used to detect plastic conditions in different basins to indicate the nearest next destination for a moving device. And information sharing to people, governments, institutions, and business across the island. An open information online platform is very vital, and the blockchain can be a very good tool. The second strategy is related to the first one, which is centralize the plastic life cycle center. And the plastic waste collected by the devices will transport it to this life cycle center to serve as a reuse and recycle center for related organizations to provide raw materials and sustainable plastic products. We will place them in the communities with more unmanaged plastic waste. The bigger purple bubble is the final location, and there can be more in the future. Why I said that above all is reduce? Because the problem is to be solved at the source. It is the most critical to stop using single-use plastics. Just give up some unsustainable plastics and give back to the pristine scenery to Bali.